Hello and welcome to Big Sky 35. Let's talk. As you can see, I have my dad here with me again. I'm on vacation. Y'all know that. So me and him I'm recording this Saturday night before the game, and we went to the Chantilly show today. A couple hours north of us here in Virginia. Pretty good show. Before we get to that, we've been watching quite a bit of baseball this week. A little football. We caught some high school football last night, and all around sports, been watching quite a bit. We've caught a couple of the hockey games and with Caps and other teams. So we've had our fill of sports this week. And other things, family things too. We just don't sit here and watch sports all of the time. Let me get your thoughts real quick on, let's see, the Astros locked it up last night. What's your thoughts on that?
The only thing that surprised me about that was that Boston was killing the ball for 2 games, and then they just stopped hitting.
Yeah.
And the Astros pitching, which was horrible, suddenly they had 2 guys come out look like Drysdale and Koufax.
Right.
And so that was the only thing that surprised me. Houston's got the better ball club. There's no question.
Right.
They have the better team, but
we were questioning it the first 2.
Yeah, when they lost McCullers, I was, and then the kid looked so bad in that first game.
Yeah.
But those last 2 games, Houston pitched. They pitched a whole lot better than they hit.
Right.
They pitched, but those 2 kids pitched, and if they do that in the World Series, they're going to be tough to beat.
Right. And then the Dodgers and Braves, that's just me and you were a Braves fan. I was a little bit of a Braves fan growing up because the Richmond Braves here in town. But I've never been a real big Braves fan, but National League East fan. I kind of pull for them. And I don't like the Dodgers, but they have a Virginia guy on there, so it's not 100% bad.
They have a UVA kid on there, and he had 3 home runs the other night, so that wasn't all bad.
Yeah, so it's bittersweet, but in that series, that's been a roller coaster ride. It's up, down, sideways. You don't know who's going to have what. And
I just have a feeling Atlanta's going to do what they did through the 90s, and that is they get to the playoffs of the World Series and figure out a way to lose.
Yeah, I was going to have you start. Yeah, because I've heard that a couple times this week from you. So, yeah, my dad was a big Braves fan during that time. But when the Nationals came and TBS stopped showing them, Dad became a Nationals fan, as you can see with the Baby Shark trophy. That's an awesome sweatshirt. And I got my Prestige Worldwide. I'll talk about that in a minute. So, we've been watching that and really enjoying it. And, I sit there and listen. My dad still thinks he's broadcasting the game. So.
I get upset. I do get upset when I see people do things that really they shouldn't.
Right. Yeah. So it's a joy, and we'll get to what we're on here about the show today. We got there 10 minutes after they opened this morning, 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I came around the corner and go, "Oh, Dad, this is going to be packed. Just be prepared. It's going to be packed." And the parking lot was empty. I think it was confusing because they started at 9, and I think in the past they started at 10.
Well, after 10 o'clock, the place started filling up, and by lunchtime there was no parking spots.
Yeah. We went out to get lunch, and you had to park in another parking lot if you were going to that show. It was that many people, and that's the time we got there. It was nice and loose. We can look at stuff and talk to the vendors, and that's when I went. I have found I wear it. This is becoming fast my going to shows T-shirt. If you want to have a good way to talk to a vendor without speaking a word, find the T-shirt that is funny or just has a saying on it, because I bet you 75% of them had something to say when I walked up to the table.
Yeah,
and it just breaks the ice for because they know and you're going to ask for less for whatever you're buying. That's just the fact of the show now and how it works. And my dad doesn't collect at all, so I'm going to ask him some questions as just pure entertainment value. But he loves his history, and it was like walking through a time capsule with him because he is 75 years old. I'm not telling any lies here. He's not afraid to tell you that. And I just turned 50 this week myself. So it was fun listening to his stories because you were telling me, going through there, seeing those cards from, your childhood, just you could just see the memories flooding back on you.
In the 1950s, I started collecting cards before we ever got a television.
Right.
I was about 5 years old. It was 1951, 51, and I liked baseball, listening to it on radio, so my mom got me some cards. And it's not like today where you went into a Target and bought a box. You got in a bubblegum wrapper. You got the Heart dog food, yeah. And you sent in 5 wrappers and they sent you 10 cards or something. I mean, we got it on the back box of cereal. Any way you could get the cards as kids, that's how we got our cards. And then we got a television. Well, I go to this show with Scott. The main reason is to be with my son. That's the main reason. Mm-hmm. But I like to look at all the old stuff, football, but all the old stuff, even the hockey from Gordie Howe and back
basketball.
I saw a Tom Heinsohn card today from the old Celtics. But anyway, and Pettit, Bob Pettit used to play for the St. Louis Hawks when they were in St. Louis. Well, anyway, I just like to look at it, and it just brings back memories from when I was a kid. Times were much more innocent, and it was more fun watching games, and the players played the game because they loved to play the game, well, not because they were trying to do their brand.
Don't worry, my aunt, his sister told me he yelled at the television.
I did that too. I yelled at it back then too. And I was a Brooklyn Dodger fan. They went to the West Coast, and then I was an LA Dodger fan until Sandy Koufax retired, and then I decided to go back to the East Coast, and I kind of drifted from team to team. I liked Roberto Clemente, though.
Yeah, and that's
the Pirates. So I used to root for the Pirates a lot because I loved Roberto Clemente. In my opinion, as a 75-year-old man that's been watching baseball since 2nd grade, Clemente is the best all-around player I ever saw.
Yeah,
he could do all 5 things and do them well.
And because of that story, I think I've told this on my channel before. Him talking like that about Roberto Clemente, this is the one I really wanted. I talked about it. This was going to be one of the cards for next year's National, but I went ahead. I found it in a 2. It's not as pretty as my rookie card, but it's centered well. It's got good color, corners, and it's a white back. If anybody knows, I'm sure, because the printing presses ran out of ink and stuff like that in those days. So, and I'll show these on my Wednesday show. I'll be back home with that one. And this one, I wanted to pick up. Don from Don's Field of Dreams told me about this one at the National, and I couldn't find it, but I'm pretty sure this is the same dealer. And he had a stack of them, and Don said he had a stack of them. It's not an expensive card. It was labeled at $40, and I'm going to do what everybody else on the YouTube say. I didn't pay $40. So, and he can witness it. He saw the deals for the most part. Sometimes I had to look for him because he was off looking, which was fine.
I found a Redskin helmet that I just wanted to look at that. I've been a Redskin fan since, Washington football team now, but that's the University of Virginia and the Redskins are the only 2 teams that I've rooted for since I was a kid and didn't change.
Right.
Baseball, I've changed 2 or 3, 4 times, and in other sports, but Virginia and the old Washington football.
And bringing that up, what do you think about that team name right now?
I love it. As far as I'm concerned.
Why do you love it?
Because it reminds me a lot of soccer. I mean,
people
Kansas City FC and things like that. Yeah. I mean, it's to me, the Washington football team. What's wrong with that? I love the uniform, the helmets with the numbers on the side. It reminds me a lot of college football. And to be honest, I prefer the college game over the pro game. I like both, but I prefer the college game.
Right. And it's being living here, and when they were going through this years ago, I heard so much. If they change their name, I'm not going to root for them, and we think that's ridiculous. It's the same players, same organization.
It's the city. It has nothing to do with the name of the team. If you root for the New York Mets, as he does, or the Yankees, and tomorrow they change the name, it'd be the same players, same team, same stadium, same manager, same general manager.
Yeah,
so
you don't root for the team for the name.
No,
I mean, for the most part.
And in all honesty, that name to me was kind of offensive for years. I thought that was a pretty offensive name. I tried to put myself in somebody else's shoes, and if I was an American Indian standing there and somebody's calling me a redskin, I wouldn't particularly care for it.
Right. Yeah, and you know how that goes, with opinions like that. It's just,
well, I mean, there are some people who won't watch them anymore because the names. That's fine. If they want to do that, that's fine. But I'm not going to lose out on watching the football team.
Right.
I'm just not.
Yeah.
Just over a name, I'm going to miss the game. To me, that's not really intelligent.
Yeah, that's not great at all. And as I've been saying, y'all know I've been more and more hockey, watching hockey, trying to learn more about the players. My dad's doing the same. We watched the Devils and Blackhawks one night, and that was exciting.
And we're both Caps fans.
That was what Jack Hughes scored in the overtime and threw his stick over to. Now he's hurt, but yeah, that was a great game, and we love the Caps.
We watched them. They actually lost to Tampa in the overtime, but it was a great game.
Great,
2-1, great, fantastic game. Yeah. Both goalies were outstanding.
Yeah, and I have. Speaking, you said buying boxes at Target here in Virginia. I am, for hockey especially, Allure and the metal hockey. I have been nice, and I'll show you some of my hits out of those. I've been finding Topps Chrome, Ginter. What was the other one there? Chrome, Ginter, and I can't remember. Oh, Fire, and I found some Prisms. So, and Walmart too as well. So I've been coming up a lot better here than when I've been in Iowa. So they're coming back slowly. But we're speaking of hockey. I picked up some. Being in Northern Virginia, I can get cap stuff, and it's not crazy priced here. You would think being a homer, it would be crazy priced, but both times I've gotten Alex Ovechkin auto last time we went, pretty good price. Same guy hooked me up today, but I got this from another guy, and this is a lot of people are going in the hockey world does not like Tom Wilson, but I picked up a Tom Wilson rookie auto.
Oh, I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, because we love the Caps. If you don't love the Caps, you don't. I got this enshrinement auto of him, and then I got this quad piece of the Caps. I'm trying to remember it should because they're it's OV, Alexander Ovechkin, Oshie, and then Backstrom, and what's the other Russian? Kuznetsov, right? So awesome, and that's out of 10. Patches could be, well, I'm not gonna say patches. Material could be, I wish it was patches. It'd be a little bit better. But I got it at a very good, reasonable price, being numbered out of 10 with those 4 players on it.
So. On that team, Oshie's my favorite player.
Yeah, my dad loves Oshie. It's a little weird, but he loves some Oshie. The guy's great. I'm not saying it's weird because he's great.
He can skate, and he can
my dad gushes over Oshie.
Now, Ovechkin's probably one of the top 2 or 3 scorers ever to play the game, but when he starts handling the puck, I cringe.
Yeah, he does have some hard hands. So we had some fun today with that, and and autographs. There was a lot of people getting autographs today, just showing up for.
Well, there were a lot of people there to give.
Yeah,
there was a lot of people there to give autographs.
Right, and they running that very well, and it was a pretty big show. It's my second probably biggest show I go to a year. National's the biggest, it doesn't even come close to a national. You can't really compare the two. But I would say for that in ball shows and stuff like that, this is probably the best for vintage. I go to during the year, even better than the national, and it was some of the same vendors at the national, but it was a lot of vintage there.
Well, another thing too, that's the right size for one day.
Right.
When you go, if the national is bigger than that, then you have to have more than one day. You can't possibly get around everybody if you want to spend any time looking.
Right. And I trying to get him to go to Atlantic City next year. Tell him down below, go to Atlantic City. But anyway, it was a lot of vintage. I talked to my dad this morning, kind of gave him a little bit of game plan. Like, I'm looking to fulfill my Mets team tops set, and I'm going to probably pick up one. I was thinking one, Clemente, and I thought I was going to be paying a lot more for a second year card. That's kind of what I was looking for. And actually, I picked up a ton. And I'll show you, not a ton. I picked up a nice amount. I'll show that Wednesday. And I also, I'm working on that Pete Alonso 2019, all the variants of the hockey stick card, the 475. This is the auto. It's not the same picture or nothing like that, but I wanted the hockey stick auto rookie card, and I love my rookie card autos anyway. The guy was a little high on that, but he was funny, and he did give me $25. He came with a great line. I said, "Hey, is that the best you can do?" And he said, "Yeah." He offered me $150, and I go, "Is that the best you can do?" And he goes, $175, and I went, "What? Didn't you say $150?" And he goes, "Oh, the best for you, not for me." I was like, that was good. He was a funny guy, and he was, I guess, he was having fun with it. Made his first sale of the day, all that stuff. It was like
he hollered over to a lady that was over on the next table and hollered and screamed, "Oh, I finally got one!"
Yeah, it was like 2 in the afternoon, so I know he's full of it. But it was a fun time. The dealers were very open to talking. Almost every one I bought a Clemente from had a story to tell. I guess they're surprised that vintage collectors out there, right? I don't know. I also noticed too, all of the modern stuff, ultra modern this year, not all, I would say a large quantity was not graded. It was raw, and because PSA is closed to regular stuff. They're not going to pay $200 to get some first card Bowman or BGS. So I did do pretty well with raw because you could get raw prices for them. There were some people trying to stick you with a 10 premium on a raw card. So you kind of had to know what you were looking at. There was a guy with the finest today trying to get top comps from eBay. I don't play that game, so I got a couple from him, but I walked away from the ones I really wanted. Something you just got to do sometimes. He came back with some ridiculous prices for 2021 cards, raw. I'm trying to think what else. And it was, a lot of non-cards, a lot of non-sports cards. I found all kinds. I was interested in a couple of Star Wars, but they were a little overpriced. They got if it's one of the main characters, you better have a nice little wallet right now for the Star Wars. For some, used to not be that way. They were all, unless it was Carrie Fisher or Mark Hamill or one of the big people. But now it's like every character in every series seems to be main character.
Yeah, you talk about the most Star Wars. You were a little kid when we took you to see the first one.
Yeah, 77.
Because you got a Millennium Falcon for Christmas.
Yeah, and y'all got me the comic books before the movie even came out, so I got the first 5. And speaking of that, I wanted to show this too. I did pick up the Topps Star Wars Chrome Legacy. I'll be opening that on a future video. Kind of want to open this on camera because that's a fun rip, and I want to share that with y'all. So with that being said, any last it or anything from today? What anything you got away from it? Carry, you know.
Not really. I enjoyed talking to a few of the vendors there.
Yeah.
Because they were, they like talking to an old guy who actually saw some of the people that they got the cards.
Yeah.
I told him about watching the '54 World Series,
Right.
and seeing the catch by Mays, and he doubled Larry Doby off second base.
Right.
And the guys are going, "You actually saw that?" And I said, "Yeah, it was on the television."
Right.
My mother let me stay home from school that one day to watch the game.
Right.
I walked to elementary school, so the World Series was played in the daytime, so I could walk home and see the last 2 innings.
Right.
And because the game didn't take 12 hours like it does now.
Right. Yeah. So he did have fun. I could tell him he was a little bit like a kid in a candy shop. I was eager to go this morning because this was the first show I've been to at all, I believe, since the National. I don't think I've been even to a small show. So I had a nice little amount of money saved up, and I did well, I believe. Came away with more than I thought I was going to get today. So good outing. I was very pleased with it. Great show. They said it had a great Friday. I'm sure they'll have a great Sunday. I didn't see a couple of YouTubers there shooting. Our buddy Jeff Wilson was there. He was shooting some stuff. And Ryan, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. It collects the pre-war stuff. He was there. He's saying he's trying to get, what do you say, 52, and he still had 7 more to do for the year to get his goal for how many?
7 shows.
7 shows to do, yeah. So, because he'll do 2 or 3 in a weekend. I've seen his videos on it. And so it was some guys there, and of course I was there. So, till next time, like, share, comment, tell a friend. Get out, get to shows, and Target's getting them back in, and Walmart maybe. So hopefully returning, having some normalcy for baseball. I'm not seeing football or basketball, but maybe they're next. So until next time, see ya.